Do small things throw off your entire day? A critical comment, unexpected traffic, a plan gone awry suddenly, your peace is shattered. You feel that familiar surge of frustration, anger, or anxiety. It's exhausting, isn't it? This constant battle against the tide of daily annoyances. You're not alone in this. Many of us grapple with these feelings, wishing for a way to navigate life's currents with more calm and resilience. What if there was a timeless key to unlock that inner stability? Imagine a man who faced plagues, wars, and betrayals, yet sought to maintain his composure and wisdom. This was Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor but also a profound philosopher. He wasn't immune to life's hardships, far from it. His wisdom wasn't born in an ivory tower, but forged in the crucible of immense responsibility and adversity. He left behind personal writings, a guide to living a life of meaning and tranquility, even when the world outside is chaotic. His philosophy, Stoicism, isn't about suppressing emotion or becoming unfeeling. It's about understanding where our true power lies. It's a practical toolkit for the mind, teaching us how to respond to life, rather than just react. Marcus Aurelius believed that the source of our distress is rarely the external event itself, but something much closer to home, our own thoughts and judgments about that event. This is the fundamental shift we're going to explore. Consider this, a sudden downpour. One person curses their luck, their day ruined. Another smiles, welcoming the rain as a life-giving force. The rain is the same. The event is neutral. What differs? Their internal response, their interpretation. This is the first crucial insight. Events themselves are impartial. They don't inherently possess the power to upset us. We assign them that power through the lens of our perception. We often tell ourselves, this situation is making me angry, or that person upset me. But Marcus Aurelius would gently challenge this. He'd suggest that it's not the situation nor the person, but our judgment about them that creates the anger or upset. This is a radical idea because it shifts the locus of control from the external world firmly back to our internal world. The power isn't out there, it's in here. Think of your mind as a fortress. External events, the winds, the storms, the arrows of misfortune, will inevitably strike its walls. But whether they breach the defenses and cause chaos within depends entirely on the strength and preparedness of the citadel itself. The fortress is your inner world of thoughts, beliefs, and judgments. Its integrity is your responsibility. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." This is not about denying pain or pretending things don't hurt. It's about understanding the source of that added layer of suffering we often heap upon the initial impact, our story about what happened. So how do these estimates or judgments form? They often arise from our ingrained beliefs, past experiences, and unexamined assumptions. An unexpected bill arrives. The event is neutral, a piece of paper with numbers. But if our underlying belief is "I'm always struggling with money," then the judgment "this is a disaster" quickly follows, bringing with it a wave of anxiety. The key is to catch these initial impressions before they solidify into firm judgments that dictate our emotional state. Marcus Aurelius urged himself to wipe out the imagination. Stop the pulling of the strings. Confine yourself to the present. He understood that much of our upset comes from runaway thoughts, from narratives we spin about the past or anxieties we project onto the future. Let's examine what is within our control. According to the Stoics, this is a very specific list. Our thoughts, our judgments, our desires, our aversions, and our actions. That's it. Everything else, other people's opinions, our health, our reputation, a global pandemic, the weather, falls outside of our direct control. This distinction is absolutely fundamental. Why is this distinction so powerful? Because we often waste enormous amounts of mental and emotional energy trying to control what we cannot, or getting upset about things that are, by their very nature, beyond our influence. Imagine trying to command the tide to stop. It's futile and exhausting. The wise approach is to focus our efforts where they can actually make a difference, on our inner responses. When you feel that familiar knot of upset forming, pause. Ask yourself, is the cause of this feeling something within my direct control or outside of it? If it's external, say, someone else's rude behavior, acknowledge it, but then consciously withdraw your emotional investment in changing what you cannot change. Focus instead on your response. Will you meet rudeness with more negativity or with calm detachment? This doesn't mean becoming passive or a doormat. You can still take action. If someone is unjust, you can speak up, but you do so from a place of reasoned choice, not from a place of being upset. The action is chosen, not compelled by an overwhelming emotion. Your inner peace remains intact because you've separated the external event from your internal judgment about how it must affect you. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Begin the morning by saying to thyself, I shall meet with the busybody, the ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful, envious, unsocial." This isn't pessimism, it's realism. He was preparing his mind. By anticipating that such things might happen, he was less likely to be shocked or thrown off balance when they did. This is a form of mental inoculation. He continues, "All these things happen to them by reason of their ignorance of what is good and evil." This isn't a judgment of superiority, but an attempt to understand. If someone acts poorly, it's often from their own confusion or pain. Realizing this can help us react with more understanding, or at least less personal offense. Their actions are about them, not a direct assault on your well-being, unless you allow your judgment to make it so. One powerful technique is objective representation. This means describing an event to yourself in the plainest, most factual terms possible, stripping away all emotional language and subjective interpretation. Instead of "my boss humiliated me in that meeting," try, "During the meeting, my boss stated my report had errors and spoke in a loud voice." See the difference, the facts versus the story. When you describe events objectively, you create a space between the event and your reaction. In this space, you can choose your response. The raw facts are often far less threatening than the emotionally charged narrative we build around them. "He didn't call me back" is a fact. "He's ignoring me, he doesn't respect me, this is a disaster" is a story that causes upset. Another technique is the view from above. Imagine yourself looking down on your life, your town, your country, the entire earth from a great height. See the vastness of space and time. From this cosmic perspective, how significant is the minor irritation that's currently consuming you? This isn't to diminish your feelings, but to place them in a broader context, often shrinking their perceived importance. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself of the impermanence of all things. Empires rise and fall, people live and die, fortunes change. The things that upset us today will, in time, pass and be forgotten. Remembering this constant flux can help loosen our grip on outcomes and reduce our anxiety about things not going our way. Everything is transient, including our troubles. So when you feel that surge of upset, try these steps. First, pause. Don't react immediately. Second, identify the trigger. What event or thought is causing this? Third, examine your judgment. What story are you telling yourself about this trigger? Are you adding fuel to the fire with your interpretation? Is it based on objective reality or on fear and assumption? This process of self-examination is crucial. It's like being a gatekeeper of your own mind. Not every thought that knocks on the door deserves entry. Not every initial impression is true or helpful. You have the power to question them, to challenge them, and to decide which ones you will allow to influence your inner state. This is an active, not a passive, process. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." If your thoughts are constantly focused on negativity, perceived slights, and future worries, then your emotional life will reflect that. But if you cultivate thoughts of acceptance, reason, and perspective, your inner landscape will begin to change, becoming more peaceful and resilient. This isn't about positive thinking in a superficial sense, where you just ignore problems. It's about accurate thinking. It's about seeing things as they are, without the unnecessary layer of drama and negativity that we so often add. It's about recognizing that while you can't control the wind, you can adjust your sails. When external events seem overwhelming, remember your inner citadel, as Marcus called it. This is your core of reason, your faculty of judgment, your inner sanctuary of peace that no external force can touch unless you allow it. You can always retreat into yourself, into this inner fortress, to find calm and clarity. This inner space is inviolable. Cultivating this inner citadel takes practice. It's like strengthening a muscle. Each time you consciously choose not to be upset by something small, each time you examine your judgments, each time you focus on what you can control, you are reinforcing the walls of your inner fortress. It's a daily commitment to your own peace of mind. Consider the language you use, even internally. Phrases like "this is unbearable," "it's a catastrophe," or "I can't stand it" amplify negative emotions. Marcus would advise us to challenge such dramatic self-talk. Is it truly unbearable, or is it merely difficult, uncomfortable, or inconvenient? Often, a change in language can lead to a change in perspective. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This is one of Marcus Aurelius's most profound insights. Obstacles are not just things to be overcome or endured. They are opportunities to practice virtue, patience, creativity, resilience, courage. The obstacle itself can be the raw material for your growth. So when faced with a difficulty, ask yourself, what virtue can I practice in this situation? If someone is unfair, can you practice justice in your response? If you face a setback, can you practice perseverance? If you are criticized, can you practice humility or open-mindedness? This shifts the focus from the problem to your responsibility. It's important to be patient with yourself in this practice. You've likely spent years, perhaps decades, reacting in certain ways. Changing these ingrained patterns takes time and consistent effort. There will be days when you get upset. Don't judge yourself harshly for it. Simply acknowledge it, learn from it, and gently return to your practice. Remember that seeking tranquility is not about avoiding life's difficulties. Life will always present challenges. The goal is to change your relationship to those challenges, to meet them with a stable mind and a resilient spirit. It's about navigating the storms, not hoping for a life without any. True strength is found in how we weather the inevitable. Consider a small annoyance that frequently upsets you. Perhaps it's a colleague's habit, a recurring technical glitch, or a family member's particular way of speaking. This week, make that your training ground. When it happens, consciously apply these Stoic principles. Pause. Observe your initial judgment. Is it true? Is it helpful? Can you reframe it? You might find that the thing itself loses its power over you once you stop feeding it with your reactive energy. The colleague's habit is still there, but it no longer hijacks your peace. You've reclaimed your inner territory. This is a profound shift, a taste of the freedom that Stoic practice can offer. It begins with these small, consistent efforts. Marcus Aurelius frequently wrote to himself, almost like a daily journal of reminders. This practice of self-reflection is immensely valuable. Take a few moments each day, perhaps in the evening, to review any instances where you felt upset. What were your judgments? How could you have responded differently, more in line with your chosen principles? Don't strive for perfection. Strive for progress. Each time you manage to insert a moment of conscious thought between an event and your reaction, you are succeeding. Each time you question a negative judgment, you are growing. This is a journey, not a destination. The aim is to become a wiser, calmer, more resilient version of yourself day by day. Remember, the external world will always be unpredictable. People will behave in unexpected ways. Plans will go awry. The only thing you have absolute command over is your own mind, your internal responses. This is where your true power lies. This is the key to not letting things upset you. It's an inside job. Think about the energy you conserve when you stop wrestling with things outside your control. That energy can then be redirected towards constructive actions, towards your goals, towards being present with loved ones, or simply towards enjoying a moment of peace. Letting go of the need to control externals is incredibly liberating. When you feel overwhelmed by the sheer number of things demanding your attention or causing potential stress, simplify. Return to the core principle. What is mine to deal with? My thoughts, my actions. And what is not mine? Everything else. This act of mental sorting can bring immense clarity and reduce the feeling of being burdened. Our expectations also play a huge role in whether we get upset. If you expect life to always be smooth and fair, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Marcus Aurelius taught an acceptance of reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. This doesn't mean resignation, but a clear-eyed view that allows for more skillful navigation. Choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been. This is a challenging but central Stoic idea. It emphasizes the power of our interpretation. While physical harm is real, the emotional harm, the upset, the sense of injury, is often a product of our judgment that we have been wronged or diminished. Practice gratitude, not just for the good things, but even for the challenges, for they are teachers. This doesn't mean being thankful for suffering itself, but for the opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more compassionate in response to it. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking or wrong to what's present and what can be learned. When you catch yourself ruminating on something that upset you, gently redirect your attention. Marcus Aurelius spoke of the governing reason, your capacity for rational thought. Engage it. Is this rumination productive? Is it helping you solve a problem? Or is it just keeping you stuck in a loop of negativity? Choose to break the cycle. Understand that other people's actions are often a reflection of their own inner state, their own struggles, their own level of understanding. It's rarely, if ever, truly about you. This depersonalization can be incredibly freeing. It allows you to observe rather than absorb their negativity. Focus on your own character, your own virtues. Are you acting with kindness, justice, courage, and temperance? If you are aligned with your own values, the opinions or actions of others have less power to disturb your inner equilibrium. Your self-worth comes from your own conduct, not from external validation. Today I escaped anxiety. Or no, I discarded it because it was within me, in my own opinions, not outside. This powerful affirmation from Marcus reminds us that anxiety is often a self-generated state based on our interpretations and future projections. We have the agency to challenge and release those opinions. The Stoic path is not one of emotional suppression, but of emotional transformation. Negative emotions are not to be crushed, but understood. What is this anger telling me? Perhaps that a boundary has been crossed. What is this fear telling me? Perhaps that I need to prepare. The emotion is data. The upset is the unskillful response to that data. If an event truly is catastrophic by objective standards, a great loss, a severe illness, Stoicism doesn't ask you to pretend it's not painful. It asks you to bear it with courage and dignity, to focus on what you can still do, how you can still act in accordance with your values, even amidst suffering. It's about finding strength, not denying sorrow. Remember the community of humanity. We are all, as Marcus Aurelius said, citizens of the world. We all struggle, we all seek happiness. Cultivating empathy, even for those who seem to cause us upset, can soften our reactions. We are more alike than different in our fundamental human experience. Each moment is an opportunity to practice. Washing the dishes, waiting in line, dealing with a difficult email, these are not interruptions to your life. They are your life. And they are all chances to practice patience, presence, and a refusal to be easily upset by the mundane. The goal isn't to reach a state where nothing ever bothers you. That might be unrealistic. The goal is to significantly reduce the frequency, intensity, and duration of your states of upset, to recover more quickly, to see things with greater clarity, and to maintain your inner balance more consistently. This is achievable. This wisdom, nearly 2,000 years old, remains profoundly relevant because human nature hasn't changed all that much. We still seek peace amidst chaos. We still grapple with our emotions. Marcus Aurelius offers us a timeless compass to navigate our inner world, a way to stop letting things upset us, not by changing the world but by changing ourselves. Imagine someone cuts you off in traffic. The immediate reaction might be anger, a surge of adrenaline, but pause. Objectively, another driver changed lanes. Your judgment, they're reckless, they disrespected me. This judgment fuels the anger. Can you choose a different judgment? Perhaps they are distracted or in a hurry. This doesn't excuse the driving, but it diffuses your upset. The inner citadel is not built overnight. It is the result of countless small choices, conscious shifts in perspective, and a persistent commitment to self-mastery. Every time you choose reason over reactivity, you add another stone to its walls, making it stronger and more resilient against life's inevitable storms. This is your internal sanctuary. When you feel overwhelmed by tasks or worries, Marcus Aurelius would advise breaking them down. Do not let your thoughts be bewildered by the whole of life. Instead, focus on the present task, the present moment. Give it your full attention and do it to the best of your ability. This dissolves the feeling of being overwhelmed by the entirety of your concerns. A core tenet is to live in accordance with nature, both your own rational nature and the nature of the universe, reality as it is. This means accepting what you cannot change and acting virtuously within the sphere of what you can. Fighting reality is a primary source of upset. Aligning with it, even when difficult, brings a sense of peace. Ask yourself, what is truly good and what is truly bad? The Stoics argued that only virtue, wisdom, justice, courage, temperance is truly good and only vice is truly bad. Things like health, wealth, reputation are indifferents, preferred, yes, but not essential for a good life or a source of ultimate distress if lost, as long as one maintains virtue. Premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, sounds grim, but it's a powerful tool. By contemplating potential future misfortunes, illness, loss, failure, not to dwell on them but to mentally prepare, you rob them of their shock value. If they happen, you've already considered how you might respond with resilience. This reduces fear of the unknown. This practice isn't about inviting negativity, but about building psychological resilience. It's like a fire drill for the mind. When you've considered the worst and affirmed your capacity to endure it with virtue, everyday annoyances lose much of their power to upset you. You become less fragile, more robust. Remember to distinguish between pain and suffering. Pain can be a physical or emotional sensation, an inevitable part of life. Suffering is often the story we add to the pain. This shouldn't be happening. Why me? This will never end. By letting go of that secondary narrative, we can experience pain without the added burden of intense suffering. The next time you feel a strong negative emotion rising, label it. This is anger. This is anxiety. This is frustration. Simply naming the emotion can create a small distance from it, allowing you to observe it rather than be consumed by it. This is a first step towards conscious response rather than unconscious reaction. What is the cost of being easily upset? Lost time, diminished health, strained relationships, reduced productivity, and a constant state of inner turmoil. When you truly consider these costs, the motivation to practice these principles becomes much stronger. Your peace of mind is a precious resource. Guard it well. Embrace imperfection in yourself and in others. The world is not perfect. People are not perfect. Expecting perfection is a recipe for constant frustration. Acceptance of imperfection, coupled with a commitment to your own virtuous action, is a pathway to greater tranquility. Your mind will take the shape of what you frequently hold in thought, for the human spirit is colored by such impressions. Marcus Aurelius knew that our habitual thought patterns sculpt our reality. If you consistently practice focusing on reason, perspective, and what's within your control, your very spirit will become more calm and resilient. Consider the brevity of life. As Marcus often reminded himself, we are here for a short time. Do you want to spend that precious time being agitated, resentful, and upset by things that, in the grand scheme, matter little? Or do you want to cultivate inner peace, wisdom, and contribute positively to the world, however small your sphere? The freedom promised by Stoicism is not freedom from difficult circumstances, but freedom in difficult circumstances. It's the liberty to choose your response, to maintain your inner integrity, regardless of what life throws your way. This is a profound and empowering form of freedom that no one can take from you. Take one idea from this exploration today. Just one. Perhaps it's the distinction between control and no control, or the practice of objective representation. Don't try to implement everything at once. Choose one principle and begin to consciously apply it in your daily life. Small, consistent steps lead to significant change over time. When you focus on what truly matters, your character, your responses, your inner state, the power of external annoyances diminishes significantly. They become like background noise, rather than the central focus of your experience. You reclaim your attention and your energy for what is truly important to you. Remember, it's not about winning every internal battle. It's about engaging in the practice. Some days will be easier than others. The key is compassionate persistence. Treat yourself with the same understanding you might offer a friend who is learning a difficult new skill. Progress, not perfection. The teachings of Marcus Aurelius are not just abstract philosophy. They are a practical manual for living a better life. They empower you to become the architect of your own inner peace. You have the tools. The choice to use them to build that inner citadel rests entirely with you, moment by moment. So the next time you feel that familiar sting of being upset, remember the emperor philosopher. Remember his wisdom. Pause, question your judgment, focus on your response. Choose calm, choose reason, choose to protect your inner peace. This is your power. This is your path to not letting things upset you. The journey to mastering your reactions is lifelong, but each step brings greater peace. It's about cultivating an inner stillness that the world cannot easily disturb. This isn't about immunity to life, but resilience in life. A quiet strength that comes not from controlling the world, but from mastering yourself. May you find that strength within.